And I'm not going to style my hair until tomorrow. And we'll see what it looked like. Either it's going to be a disaster or not. Hello, welcome to the channel. This is Trina Claiborne 4C Hair Transformation Coach. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back. Today, I am going to be styling my hair, and I'm going to be doing a stretched style. Depending upon the outcome, because I've never done this before, there's another way I want to style the hair and just see which one of the two that I like the best. So if you haven't seen the last upload for the menopausal hair loss week 8, my hair has been washed from that video, and if you haven't seen that video, you can click that one after watching this one. So my hair, as of to this morning, it is fully dry, and the stretch is not from this state. But what I am going to do, because my hair, you can see, I just pulled it, I just twisted it and put it in a ponytail, so to speak. I'm going to take each one of these sections and I'm going to hydrate them. I'm using just regular water, not tap water. This is bottled water. I never put tap water on my hair. I even have a filter for when I'm washing my hair. I'm going to hydrate each section, and then I'm going to use Big Bertha, and that is the Rev Air. I love this thing. I'll tell you, even though this one is a little pricey for 4C hair girlies, game changer. Okay, so I'm going to stretch it, and I'm going to dampen it a little bit, and just to kind of get the stretch in there. And I'll do some different things. I'm nervous because I've never done this before. I know the results that I'm looking for, but I'm hoping that I'm using the right tools and products to get me there, right? So this is a trial and error. Okay, so of course, I always like starting in the back. So I'm gonna pin these up, isolate the one that I'm working with. And hopefully this will be helpful when I get one dried and figure out how not to get the one that I've prepped not wet, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my bottle. Well, you know what may be best is to dampen my entire head so that when I get ready to dry the next section, I don't have to use a whole lot of water all over the place. Maybe that, I don't know. I'm really thinking out loud. So we'll see what this is going to look like. Right? And by the way, the only thing that's on my hair now is that leave-in conditioner that I put in. I don't have any butters. Because I kind of had an idea that I was going to do this. And just so you know, if you know you're going to put heat in your hair, I encourage you not to put any butters or oils in your hair, because it's kind of like frying the chicken, right? You don't want to have oils on your hair when you're getting ready to apply heat. Now you can put it on there afterwards, which is what I'm going to do, as a matter of fact. Now for the Rev Air, you do want your hair damp, not soaking wet. You don't need it soaking wet for the Rev Air. You want it damp and you want it detangled. And do know from the last wash day, my hair is fully detangled. Now I am going to do a little bit more detangling just before I put the Rev Air in there, because it's been 2 days since I washed my hair, and it's just been twisted up this whole time. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to dampen it just a little bit more. Just a little bit. And as I'm dampening it, it also is reactivating the conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, which was African Pride leave-in conditioner. And the other thing about the Rev-Air, give me a comment and let me know if you all have invested in the Rev-Air, because I'm telling you, it's well worth the money. I think it's like either $3.99 or $4.99 the last time I checked. But on Prime days, I would, if you plan on doing it. I'm not sure when Prime Day is going to be on Amazon. You may get it at a better price, you know, if the sellers decide to include it to boost their sales for it. I think what I'm going to do, this seems like a pretty big section, and that's the other thing with the Rev-Air. Let's say you are getting ready to get braids in your hair and you just wanted your hair more manageable. You can use bigger sections because the whole purpose is just to make manageability easy, getting the braids in your hair. But when you get ready to style your hair, or when you get ready to do a silk press, you want to make the sections very small, because the whole objective of that is to get the hair as straight as possible before you do the press, right? So for what I'm going to do, I do want to have my hair a little bit more stretched. So I'm going to section this section out because this one is a little bit bigger than what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I detangle. And you want to go from the root to the end. Okay. And I'm going to be putting the Rev-Air on the highest tension as well, which is 7. And with the Rev-Air, once you get your hair in the hopper, you want to keep it as close to the scalp as possible and move it around. I find that that technique, not making it going like that, but just moving it around the scalp, will really get the roots a lot straighter. And then when you get ready to take the hair out, just go slowly and don't go back up, because you're going against the grain of the hair, right? So I'm going to turn her on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's about what I'm looking for. She is stretched. Okay. Okay, now here's the task. Is making sure I don't get this side wet. That's the task. Next time I'm going to start from the top down. I think that'll be an easier way.
No.
Now, because I do want my hair a little bit more sleek around here, I'm going to heat that up a little bit. And also, when I get ready to style my hair, I like to style it so that I don't have to manipulate. I like to prep it so that I don't have to manipulate it so much when I actually do the style. So in the back, I'm going to do the triangle, right? And then section it off like that, because I don't want the bust down in the back. I never seen a wig that had a split in the back ever. And then I haven't decided which way I want my hair to lay, either to the left or to the right. I'll figure that out. But so let's get started with the next step. And I'm using using a straightening comb. Now this straightening comb, it's by Kiss, okay? And what I like about this straightening comb, it has the heating settings. You can turn it up. Right now it started out at 250. I don't know which way to turn this so you can see it properly. 250, and then you can increase it here. Let me see what it goes up to. Let's see, I'm gonna see how far it goes up. It goes up to 450, but I'm not going to 450. I'm gonna go down to about 300. Yeah, well, 310. Okay, so I'm gonna let it get there. Oh, it's actually there. It got there really, really quickly. So I don't want to have massive amount of heat, just enough to straighten out these hairs, especially my grays. They are so unruly. And mind you, at this point, I still have not put any oils in my hair. So let's see what happened. This is my first time using this, by the way. And I noticed that it take away the flyaways as well, which is one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this. Try not to burn my ear. That's bringing back memories, that's for sure. Now with this style, I do want to have some texture, so I am going to do the diamond in the back. Sun rooftop, digging in the scene with the gangster lean. Ooh. Comment down below if you remember that song. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember who sung it. Okay, so this is what I got going on in the back. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the roots a little bit with the straightening comb. And I'm using Cream of Nature Oregon oil, and it's a very, very light spray. So I'm going to put it a little in my hand, and I'm actually going to rub it on that section. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to take this into 3 sections, and I'm going to do a 3-strand braid for each section. And just remember, the parting is irrelevant, and this stuff makes your hair, oh my goodness, it moisturizes it and give it some sheen. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do this off camera for the rest of my entire head. I think I'm gonna keep this size. I'm not sure what the pattern is gonna look like with this size, but I'm gonna do this off camera, and I will be back, and I'll let you know which side I decide to rock my hair, either to the left or to the right. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm on the last braid. And now do know that all of this is an experiment. So I don't know how this is going to come out. I'll be just as surprised as you will be. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do when I get towards the end. And I'm hoping that this will make it easy for me when I get ready to separate the hair. I turn it into a 2-strand twist. Okay? So then I just start 2-strand twisting it. I'm going to lightly spray my hair with some holding spray. This is Tresemme, right? So it's a little humid sometimes here in Georgia, so I'm going to put a light coating of this on the hair before I do the next step. Trust me, this is an experiment. And the reason why I chose this one, it's supposed to lock in moisture. I don't know if you can get that. It's supposed to lock in moisture and lock out frizz, right? So we're gonna put it to the test. Okay, before I Flexi-Rod set it, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take the ends. I'm using a curl. Now, do know that my hair is dry, right? So I want to keep it dry, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this Palmer's Coconut Oil Curl Styler Cream on the ends. And here's how I'm going to apply it. I'm going to take a little bit of it. I'm going to make sure the ends are really saturated with it. Just the ends, not the whole shaft of the hair. Right, that's what I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to put these two on the same Flexi-Rod. I'm going to do it away from my face. So, I'm going to take it and I'm going to take the ends of it and make sure I really lay them down. Okay, and I'm going to roll the hair over it, and then I'm going to start spiraling the hair. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So let's try this again. It looks like I'll be better off with two on the rod. So I'm going to take the ends and really saturate the ends. And I'm doing this so that the ends will not be frizzy once I dry it and start separating the hair. Okay, so that's what we got from here. And then I'm gonna take the Flexi-Rod and do the same thing. And the key for me is to make sure that I roll the hair over the ends initially before I start spiraling up the rod. And so I'm going to do that for each one of the braids. It's Friday at noon, and I'm doing this in between my breaks. And I'm not going to style my hair until tomorrow, and we'll see what it looked like. Either it's gonna be a disaster or not. So I'll be back and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. I hope you had way better sleep than me, because oh my goodness, sleeping in Flexi-Rod is not fun. But here we are. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna take these out and see if it did form anything of a curl. Hopefully that's what I was hoping for, that the bottom would be. No. No. Yeah. Okay, so the next step, I am going to take my botana oil and I am going to grease my scalp while it's still in the braids, and so that I won't get it on the curls after I've separated them. And so I'm just going to take this, because I do have the solid version of the botana oil. So I'm going to take a little bit of it and rub it on my hands to make it get creamy. And so I'm just going to take it and grease my scalp only, without trying to get it on the shaft of my hair, because with this hairstyle I still want my hair to flow easily and not be weighed down with any products, right? If I do put a shine, it'll be with the Cream of Nature shine oil sheen that I have, just to give it a little bit of a sheen. So I'm going to finish this throughout my entire head, and then we'll come back and I'm going to separate each of the braids, and we'll see how she turns out. So I'll be right back. And so now I'm going to separate each and every one of the braids, but first I am going to put a little bit of oil on my hands, just so I can decrease frizziness. And of course I'm using my favorite Aunt Jackie Salt All Over oil. Okay, one of my favorite oils. It is a very light oil, so I'm just going to use a little bit. I don't want too much. I just put like a little dollop in there and get my fingers saturated a little bit. And so I'm going to start, I've always liked to start in the back, and I'm going to pull these out of the way. Hopefully the camera can pick up what I'm doing. Okay. So remember, my ends, I swirl those a little bit. So, and these are a little small, and to try to get it started without any frizz. So I'm going to unravel to see if it'll unwrap and expose the separation, and it did. Okay, so I just have to remember that the beginning of this is a 2-strand twist, and then it rolls into the 3-strand braid. My objective is to not manipulate it as much, to keep down frizziness. And like I said, this is an experimental hairstyle, so I don't know if maybe I should have made the braids a little bit bigger. So we'll see, and if that is the case, we'll try this again, because we're learning. That's the whole objective, is to learn your hair. What techniques, what tools, what products make that your hair love, to make your hair grow and be healthy, be strong, and look the way you want it to look, right? Hopefully I can get to the thick of it. I'm still at the thin part of the braid. I probably should have made the braids a little bigger. I'm thinking in my head. And because it's coming apart a little better as I get to the thickness, and I'm noticing that I don't have to manipulate it too much, and I'm going to try to keep it separated, the 3 strands separated the entire time. So that's what it's looking like so far. Okay, let's try another one. I'm going to do one more on camera, and I'm going to talk through this process. Like I said, remember I did a 2-strand twist at the bottom, and so I'm going to untwist it the opposite way to get it to separate, those 2 strands to separate naturally, so that I won't have to manipulate it too much. And the objective is to remember which way you twist. That helps. And it'll start separating. And then once I get to the part where I've done the 3-strand twist, hopefully they'll expose themselves without a whole lot of manipulation. It's kind of difficult because I made the braids a little small, and my whole objective for doing that is to get a better definition to keep the hairstyle a little longer. So I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not to decrease the frizziness. So we'll see. And the next time I try this hairstyle, I'll make the braids a little bit bigger and to see if that make a difference. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do all of the rest of them off camera, and then I'm gonna come back and let you know what I think about it, and anything that, if I find out something else that I need to share with you about separating the braids, I will come back and do that. But otherwise, I'm just gonna take all this down and then we'll be right back. I'm gonna use my pick to try to give it just a little bit more volume, but because my goal is to try to keep as much definition, I'm not going to separate it as much. I'm just going to strategically place it in different areas. Now, what I am going to use to kind of freeze some sections into the place that I want, I am going to use the Tresemme. Now, this is supposed to decrease the frizz and also maintain the hold, but it also still keep the softness that you're looking for in your hair. So if someone touches your hair, that it doesn't feel brittle, right? So we don't want any of that. But I am going to just take this and kind of fluff up the edges, the roots a little bit, just to give it just a little bit of volume. Okay, and I'm not sure about the back. Now, I did design my prep so that I wouldn't have to split down the back, but I am going to go off camera and I'm just going to manipulate it a little bit using those tools, and then we'll come back and talk about the results. So I'll be right back. And here is the final look. Okay, so let me know what you think. I use my pick to kind of give it a little bit more volume, and I'm going to let you see what it looked like from the back. And so my goal was to try to minimize as much frizz. Now, do note that I labeled this video as version 1. So a lot of the things that I learned about creating this style, I'm going to implement that in version 2. So it's going to be over the next few days, because what I want to take advantage of this stretched state of my hair and not have to reintroduce heat, because I do have oils on my hair, right? So if you foresee, that's one of the things you want to avoid, is putting heat on your hair with it full of a lot of oils, because now I'm trying to preserve my natural curl pattern, and so I'm very, very concerned about not having heat damage. And so over the next few days, as this grow a little older, because as you can see that I don't have a whole lot of definition during this process, and to be honest with you, I think it's because of the braids was a little bit too thin. Because I did have to manipulate the hair a little bit in order to get the separations of the 3-strand braids. And I also should have started the 2-strand twist a little earlier in the braid, because that way I can have less manipulation at the bottom of the hair at the ends, going into the thicker part of the hair, which is much, much easier to separate the hair. So I'm going to be incorporating those. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and so that you won't miss the next video, and just to go through some of the things that we've already posted, because right now I am in the middle of that menopause hair loss challenge, to be able to regrow that using Ayurvedic products. But I just wanted to have some time to play with my hair. And so over the next few days, I will be having version 2 video out, But thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, and if you've tried this technique. I just never seen the type of products that I use on this today, because 4C hair operates a little differently, so we have to handle it a little differently. And so in the midst of me learning my hair, I'm just really enjoying experimenting with my hair. So this is what this style looked like for version 1. And like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, leave a comment, share it, because that does help the channel grow. And for those of you that are already subscribers, I thank you so much for each one of you. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Mwah.